The following is a presentation of the Big Ten Conference.
So pleasantries right now out in the parking lot between the Spartans and Wolverine fan base. But once you get inside the big house in Ann Arbor, no more of that. Michigan State and Michigan, two first-year head coaches indoctrinated themselves with the Paul Bunyan Trophy. Football on the Big Ten Network is presented by Hampton by Hilton. It's Michigan State and Michigan, both 4-3 and 2-2 in Big Ten Conference play. Let's enjoy some of the Michigan marching band.
As Michigan's man up front, from Rose Hill, Michigan, drum major Christian Nunez.
Michigan making their way out onto the field. 117th meeting between Michigan and Michigan State. Here come the Wolverines. Oh, man, you can feel the energy. Night game at the Big House. You love it. Jake Butt, Brooke Fletcher down on the field. Jeff Levering with you. Thanks for being with us tonight. And, Jake, these players know exactly what's at stake for tonight. For a guy who played in this rivalry, it's unbelievable what's going on in that field. Let's start with Michigan State talking about this ball game today. Huge win against Iowa last week where it felt like something finally clicked.
Yeah, it felt like last week was extremely important for this Michigan State football team, and they were playing a Hawkeye team that has a lot of similarities to Michigan. They want to run the ball and play sound defense. Well, what did Michigan State do? They dominated the trenches. Best offensive line performance I've seen since the D'Antonio days. Now the challenge is, can they do it again in a big-time rivalry game?
How about for Michigan? This feels as big of a must-win as they've had in a long time.
Must-win? It absolutely is a must-win. To think about the fact 9 months ago they were celebrating an undefeated national title run, and here they are in a must-win scenario if they want to give themselves a good chance at making a bowl game. The big key here is who's playing quarterback, and they're going with the guy that won the battle out of fall camp in Davis Warren. What does he need to do today? Well, it's quite simple. Avoid turning the ball over.
You mentioned simple. Let's go down to the field. Brooke Fletcher. Davis Warren's got to keep things simple tonight.
Yeah, Jeff, well, Sherrone Moore told me that's when this offense is at its best. So they're taking that a simple approach with Davis Warren here, trying to regain some confidence under center and also understanding, hey, not every play has to be electrifying. Play clean football and also have some fun. This is one of the best environments he's going to play in all season long. Important to note, guys, Alex Orji could get in the mix here tonight. Jack Tuttle, he did not dress out, I'm told, due to an undisclosed injury. However, he will be on the sidelines cheering on his teammates, guys.
Thanks so much, Brooke. It is Michigan State and Michigan from the Big House. Just the 4th night game ever in this rivalry. We kick it off next. This game is not just about winning. It's certainly not about a record. Their rivalry runs too deep for that.
Sometimes you get your really excited. They want to mock us all they want to mock us.
Tonight, these interstate rivals walk in with a purpose.
Michigan State does it!
To stake their claim
Oh, he has trouble with the snap!
on state bragging rights.
It's been a long time since I've seen that big fella.
To leave their mark on this historic rivalry.
Touchdown, Manningham!
And to hoist this reminder
For the rest of our life, we will walk the streets of this state.
that they reign supreme. Because on this night, the only thing better than winning is giving them a loss.
Peoples-Jones down the sideline!
Welcome to football in the state of Michigan. Welcome to the 117th meeting between the Spartans and the Wolverines. Michigan and Michigan State back on the Big Ten Network for the first time since 2012. And we could not be more honored to bring it your way. All day to think about this rivalry, all day to think about this game. And it is a crisp, perfect night for football in Ann Arbor. Michigan won the toss, deferred to the second half. So we will see the Spartan offense on the field to open up this ball game. Tommy Dolman ready to kick for the Wolverines. Alante Brown is back deep, and off we go from the Big House. Jonathan Smith, first-year head coach at Michigan State, puts the keys in the hands of Aiden Childs, sophomore quarterback, transfer from Oregon State to Michigan State. He's been awesome in his last couple of ball games, Jake.
And he's a special talent. There's a reason getting Childs was the first move Jonathan Smith made after he got hired. But what comes with that talent is a little bit of youth. You see the key stat down here, 9 interceptions on the season, but only 1 interception in his past 2 weeks. So you've seen progress and growth.
Childs keeps, short gain of 3, maybe 4 on first down for Michigan State. They've got 3 awesome receivers that nobody talks about, Jake.
Yeah, Wink Martindale said this wide receiver unit is as good as they've seen all year, but really the key is the offensive line play. You know, they tried a bunch of different combinations this year, but last week versus Iowa, they found something. Ran for over 200 yards on the ground. It's the best offensive line performance I'd seen since the D'Antonio days. Well, this is the SAT test, man. This is the real test, because this Michigan defensive line is as good as it comes.
Childs feeling the heat. He's going to run and pick up a first down. Hit hard late. Michigan defense, they are stout against the run. Passing defense, they're going to be without Will Johnson tonight.
You're not going to find a better 4 defensive lineman, a better unit in college football. But as you mentioned, the weakness of this Michigan defense has been in the back end. Passing defense has struggled, and they're going to be without their best corner in all college football, and Will Johnson. As we just talked about, this is an extremely dangerous Michigan State wide receiver room.
Changing the play. Handoff, Carter out to the 40. Nate Carter, 9 carries, 49 yards, and a touchdown last week against Iowa. Mentioned, Jake, they ran for over 200 yards, passed for over 200 yards. You haven't seen that balance in a long time from the Spartans.
Talked about the youth of Childs, and he played his best game last week, and a big reason was they were able to get the run game going, which allowed him to get into play action. It helped the offensive line protect him. So, as you've seen here early in the game, expect them to lean heavily on that run game.
2nd and 7 for Michigan State. Childs sets up the screen. Carter around the blockers. He's got the sideline. Carter inside Wolverine territory. Perfect setup for Michigan State.
Beautiful start to the game for Brian Lindgren, and he had this Wolverine defense completely confused. This is going to be in the game plan today. We talk about the pass rushing ability of Michigan's defensive front. What do you do to slow them down? Well, you mix in some screens just like that, and explosives. Big part of the game of football. Great start there for the Spartans.
Screen game, draw game is also going to be big today.
Use their strength against them.
Kai Frazier is in the backfield. Frazier back to pass. Frazier now tucks. Able to get back to the line of scrimmage and makes maybe 1.5 yards out of what could have been a loss of 5.
Frazier's a true freshman. You know, usually you don't put that on the shoulders of a true freshman. And listen, turnovers have been an issue for really both offenses today. Good job by Frazier as the impromptu quarterback of realizing there's nothing downfield, tuck it and run. That was a dangerous play, but a good job by the freshman to not put the ball in harm's way.
We get to see Karon Lynch-Adams on the field for Michigan State. 2nd and 8 for the Spartans. In field goal range already for Jonathan Kim. Handoff. Good hole and near a first down. 3rd down and short.
This is where Michigan State wants to live. The key is winning these early downs, get into 3rd and manageable once again to slow down that Michigan pass rush.
Showing some tempo on 3rd and 2. Get to the outside. First down, Michigan State. Nate Carter, this is his opening series.
Once again, a really nice job by this Spartan offensive line. The right guard, right tackle, Lepo, and tight end. Part of the run game for the Spartans is they love to get into these cutback schemes. The cutbacks are alive, and that's what you saw there. Pushing it to the left and then coming all the way back around on the cutbacks with good movement up front.
Lynch-Adams on the field for the first time. 1st and 10 from the 20. Childs has it inside the 15-yard line. Great ball fake. Jair Hill should on the tackle.
Well, you come in each week with openers. You have 10 plays that you know you're going to get to early in the game. And Brian Lindgren, the play caller for Michigan State, he's got to be loving what he's seeing so far. This is a fired up environment, man. It is charged up in here. And with a young quarterback, they've done a good job of being poised throughout this drive, winning the early downs, and really putting themselves up in a successful position.
Struggled in the red zone, just 10 touchdowns in 26 tries for the Spartans this year. Handoff up the middle. Lynch-Adams into a wall of Wolverines. 3rd and short.
It's early, but a really big 3rd down here, Jeff. Michigan State struggles to score touchdowns down in the red zone. This is going to be a close game, a competitive game. Those points, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, are going to make all the difference.
Carter gets it up the middle, first down. Spartans down to the 5-yard line.
You can't draw up a better start, man. This rivalry is decided in the trenches. 48 of the last 52 winners, they've won the running battle. And this Michigan, the strength of this defense is their front six, front seven, a ferocious physical defensive line. But Michigan State, the Spartans, they have came to play up front, finding a ton of success in this rushing game.
1st and goal. 6.5 minutes gone by on this opening drive. The end around to the outside, inside the 5-yard line. Goes Montori Foster on the carry.
It's a great mix of, okay, run the ball, right? But how do you run the ball? You've seen a variety of different schemes here. The quarterback run, running up the middle. We've seen him stretch Michigan to the outside there with a reverse. Running the ball as a principle, but getting to it in different ways.
10 running plays out of the 11 so far during this drive. 5 different ball carriers for the Spartans. 2nd and goal. Pitch to the outside. One man to beat. Won't do it. A huge hit. Amir Hall with a stop.
Big time play there for Amir Hall. He's starting now with Will Johnson out of the game. And another test here coming, Jeff, from the 2-yard line. Through Michigan State, you got 2 shots to this. I got to imagine Jonathan Smith is thinking 7 points or nothing.
2 third down conversions already on this drive. Lynch Adams the back at the big boys on the right side of the formation. Childs with an option, throws incomplete. Almost intercepted in that end zone. Questionable coming into the game was Quentin Johnson. He knocked it away.
Great job by Quentin Johnson being disciplined. They've been setting up the boot action that entire drive. And Johnson had the tall task of going up against Jack Velling, who was a big-time red zone threat, led the FBS in touchdowns by a tight end last year. As predicted, Jeff, they're going for it on 4th down.
4th and goal from the 2. Fourteenth play of the drive.
Delay of game. Offense number 2. Have your penalty still. 4th down.
We send out Jonathan Kim after the delay of game. He was 6 of 7 last week. Maybe trying to see if Michigan would jump there at the last moment.
Well, that or early helmet sticker to this Michigan crowd who is fired up. Those little plays, a great tackle by Amir Hall on 2nd down. Good coverage by Quentin Johnson on 3rd down. And forcing Michigan State once again to kick a field goal.
25-yard try. Kim missed. Over 8 minutes worth of a drive for Michigan State, and the Wolverines hold them to nothing. Just the 2nd missed field goal of the year for Jonathan Kim, came from 25 yards, and we see the Michigan offense on the field for the first time. Our stay in the game keys today for you, Jake. They're sponsored by Hampton by Hilton.
They win the line of scrimmage. It's probably, both of these are true for both teams, but you saw that on that last drive. Michigan State, they dominated the line of scrimmage, but Michigan did just enough to force a field goal. And now you see Davis Warren getting the start at quarterback today. Number 1 priority is protect the football.
First start since week 3 against Arkansas State. A huge hit coming up from the defensive line. Daquan Dowse coming up with a huge tackle, a loss of 1. Davis Warren again making that first start since week 3. See those 6 interceptions, 3 came against Arkansas State. They were his only incompletions of the game.
No, it's on everyone else too, right? It's not just on Davis. A number of those interceptions, the protection was bad. He was getting hit right as he got the snap.
Boy, there is a lot of green helmets on Kalel Mullings. And already some chippiness between these two bitter rivals. Malik Spencer coming up from his safety position to lay the first hit.
This is the rivalry. This is what makes it special and unique. Football is inherently physical. Michigan State is always a fist fight, and it's showing up early.
3rd and 9. Spartans bringing heat. Plenty of time to throw. Warren out to his left and throws it incomplete.
Oh, man, Jeff, and the one guy I'd expect Warren not to miss is his tight end, Colston Loveland. Man, 3rd and 9. Watch him on the crosser. Wins right away. Gets a little pick route in a rub. That's the first read, and Warren is looking. I don't know where he's looking. This is it. You go back to the game last week, and Kirk Campbell, the play caller, caught a lot of heat. But when I watched the film, there was guys open against Illinois. They just didn't have the quarterback to get the ball to him. Now showing up once again. Colston Loveland was wide open on 3rd and 9.
Now this Michigan defense going to have to go right back out onto the field after an 8-minute drive from the Spartans. We'll be back to Ann Arbor in just a moment. Football on the Big Ten Network is presented by Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay. By State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by DirecTV. Stream Big Ten football all season long on DirecTV without a satellite dish. A couple of first-year head coaches coaching in this battle for the Paul Bunyan Trophy for the first time. A trophy that's been on display since 1953. Second drive of the Spartans. Frazier back on the field. Frazier gets it wrapped up. Tackle made by Derek Moore, the linebacker. Take a look at our impact players, Jake. They're sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance.
We're going to do a little twist here on impact players and go to impact units. Right, I'm going to hammer this one home. It's the offensive line versus the defensive line. Everything for this Michigan State offense is built on the ability to run the football. Biggest test they've faced all year. They've seen some great D-lines, but this unit, these starting 4 guys are as good as there is in college football.
2nd and 9. Childs to pass. Flushed out, throws across the middle, wide open, catch made. Nick Marsh had over 100 yards last week in the win against Iowa. That's catch number 1.
And it's early, but if I was handing out early grades, Jeff, this offensive line's passing with flying colors. Look at all the time in the world for your young quarterback. Michigan even sends Ernest Hausman, so they bring 5 guys and didn't even sniff Childs, and that allows him to do what he loves to do, which is find his favorite target in the talented freshman Nick Marsh.
25th catch of this season. He had 8 grabs last year. How about those strong hands on that catch? Inside Wolverine territory. Sprint handoff goes to Alante Brown, back on the field for the first time in a while, the Nebraska transfer.
A lot of motion, a lot of shifts, a lot of pre-snap window dressing by Brian Lindgren, the play caller for Michigan State. And a good job by their quarterback in Childs. He has to manage all that and direct the offense. He's doing a good job so far. They're using it to their advantage to try to stretch Michigan's defense horizontally.
Empty backfield, Childs. They bring 5 across the middle, incomplete, was looking for Velling.
So there it was. They shifted to empty, and what Wink Martindale did is he had a 5-man front. So that's the post-shift picture, and what that does is it creates one-on-one matchups across the defensive line. You see Big Kenneth Grant right there, 340 pounds. He is a freaking freight train. Walked Tanner Miller all the way back into the lap of Childs.
Handoff, Carter, big room, Carter! Splitting the defense near the 10-yard line. Another big run for Nate Carter.
Man, this offensive line came to play. Watch the right guard, right tackle. Even the center, Tanner Miller, Brandon Baldwin, Ashton Lefo, those guys created a big-time hole for Nate Carter. And yeah, I'd be celebrating like that too if I ran through the hole on a 3rd and 9, just like that. So Michigan State, talk about meeting the moment. Man, they came to play.
Baldwin, who started this year as the starting left tackle, now at right guard, is able to kick Carter free, and now we will see a timeout by Michigan State.
Michigan State, it's their first of the half. Will be a full media timeout.
2 really good drives for Michigan State in this opening quarter. We'll step aside from Ann Arbor. Next Saturday, Big Ten Tailgate is in Lincoln. Set the scene for another great day of football. Fun begins 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. Only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. One of the most stout run defenses in the country has almost given up their season average in the first quarter, Jake.
Not a great start. Or a great start, depending on who you ask. Not a great start for Michigan. Great start for Michigan State.
Marsh, the motion man. Childs up the middle inside the 5-yard line.
We talk about Childs being a special talent. It's not just throwing the football. This guy is a dynamic athlete, and this has become a part of their offense, something that Jonathan Smith wanted to get more involved, particularly in the red zone. TJ Guy's a veteran on this defense, a senior. And Aiden Childs made him look like he was skating on ice out there. Wow.
One cut and gone was Childs. 2nd down. They can get a first down at the 1-yard line. This is an area, Jake, we talked about on that first drive. The red zone has been an issue. Childs to pass. Childs out into the flat. One move and down to the 1-yard line goes Foster. Now, did he get the first down? Short by maybe the nose of the football.
Wow. Here it is, another great shot at it. And that ball it's a good spot.
And Makari Page able to get enough of Foster to stop his momentum. So 3rd and inches.
Michigan State's been in complete control of this game. Not in a rush, not once today.
High formation. Handoff. Did they get the nose? The near official marking him short. Fourth down.
That's really important. Not going to get a great look at it there. But what an important stop for Michigan. I mean, this is basically a touchdown or a stop, right? A game of inches, as they say.
They need a nose. Childs hands it off. Carter got at least a first down, and he's got a touchdown to boot. Michigan State strikes first.
That's the Michigan State identity, right? You want to knock, eventually kick down the door, man. Michigan's defense did everything they could, and you see number 5 right there just squirts through just a little bit at the end. But you know, when I think of the best Michigan State football teams with Mark D'Antonio, they weren't shy, they weren't nice. They were going to take it. If you didn't want to give it to them, they were going to take it. That's what this game plan has been about so far. Just a junkyard dog mentality, running it right at that stout Michigan defense.
Already 10 red zone snaps for Michigan State. 135 first quarter yards. Spartans crack through first. One of the longest standing rivalries in the country, 117th meeting between Michigan State and Michigan. The battle for Paul been going on since 1898. Winner receives the Paul Bunyan, the Governor of Michigan Trophy, first award 1953 to commemorate the Spartans joining the Big Ten in football. The series even over the last 10 matchups, with tonight being only the 4th night game ever. How crazy is that?
That is crazy. Well, the stadium only had lights. I was here for the first ever game under the lights. Notre Dame, Michigan under the lights in 2011. So I guess that probably plays a little bit into that. It's a different environment at night, though.
That's a different way to prepare, too, Jake. We can get into that over the course of this game. As we take a look at our impact players who are sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance.
Look, Michigan needs these two guys to step up. Khalil Mullings, he's their bell cow. He's their star running back. I think he needs 25 carries at minimum tonight. Obviously, Colston Loveland is their tight end one. He's their wide receiver one. He's their everything in the passing game. And then you look at these two guys from Michigan State. Chris Bogle, you know, he feels like the heartbeat of the defensive line, and Jordan Turner is the heartbeat of this defense. Transferred in from Wisconsin, got voted captain by his teammates. It says a lot about the impact he's had in just a little bit of time.
Warren gets out of his hands quickly to Loveland. Loveland across the 35-yard line. That will take us to the end of the first quarter. Just the 4th play on offense for the Wolverines.
I'm here with Michigan State head coach Jonathan Smith. Coach, what was the difference on that last drive for your offense to find success in the red zone?
Well, obviously finishing. You know, we got to be able to get downhill in the run game. We got too many gimmicks going sideways. It was a good finish. Even the first drive, really pleased with the movement all the way down there. Take the penalty. Probably could have called timeout to go for it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Michigan State with 22 plays to Michigan's 4. Flip the field, first down, and at least a good sign on that first play as Alex Orji checks in for Davis Warren. We thought we might see him not just in specialty packages. Handoff, Edwards, and tripped up. Nice tackle by Malik Spencer. Alex Orji made a few starts for Michigan earlier. And Orji out of the ball game, and back comes Davis Warren.
I mean, Sharon Moore, he's trying. You know, I mean, it's. I think we all expected a regression with J.J. McCarthy leaving for the NFL. I don't know if anyone expected it to look like this so far, but they've certainly tried everything. You know, one thing about Davis Warren, with everything he's overcame in his life, Jeff, I'm excited to see him bounce back here tonight.
Warren to pass again, looking to the right side. He's got Edwards out of the backfield and brought down after a short gain. And let's go back downstairs to Brooke.
Yeah, moments before the first quarter was over with, you see Christian Boyman right there. He was escorted to the medical team with tears in his eyes. You can see he's heading back to the locker room right now, guys.
Well, thanks so much, Brooke. Third down here for Michigan. Seeing Edwards in the ball game on this drive. It was Mullings first. Now Edwards and Mullings on the field at the same time.
That's Colston Loveland on the inside of the bunch. That's the guy to watch.
Mullings in motion. They give it to Edwards. Edwards swallowed up by the Spartans. Great pursuit on the backside.
It's a great job by Jordan Turner, and it looked like number 8, Anthony Jones. Really, everybody, pick your poison. Good job by number 97, Maverick Henson, team captain. But you handcuff yourself there, Michigan, by the quarterback play and the lack of experience, feeling like you have to run a gadget run play rather than dropping back and passing it. You handcuff yourself and limit to only running the ball, and Michigan State won that battle.
Good punt by Dolman, checks up at the 5, going to roll back to the 10-yard line. Worst field position of the night so far for Michigan State, but they have been driving on this Wolverine defense. We'll see Childs and company when we return. $7-0 Michigan State. They've got the football back. There's Tom Izzo making the drive down from East Lansing. The Spartans are getting ready to hoop it up on the hardwood. Stream men's hoops on Big Ten Plus. Spartans tune up for the regular season exhibition matchup against Ferris State. Don't miss the excitement. It's on Tuesday. Subscribe right now at BigTenPlus.com. Tom Izzo's son on the field. Man, what a great moment for him last year when he scored his first bucket. So his family will never forget. Lynch Adams in the backfield. He gets it. One cut. He's across the 15-yard line.
One underrated thing about being a head coach is the management of the day. And this being a night game, these are long days. And especially with the rivalry, they can be emotionally exhausting. Jonathan Smith obviously has experience as a head coach before here. His team has played in a number of night games this year. Of course, Sharon Moore, the opposite, a first-time head coach, not played in as many night games. And, it's showing up to me that Michigan State came emotionally and energetically ready to play here early. Michigan has not matched that energy.
Second down. And they get across the 20-yard line for a first down. And for Jonathan Smith, longtime tenure at Oregon State. Was a great player at Oregon State, late 90s, early 2000s. Tonight's coaching profile sponsored by Discover. The thing for Jonathan Smith is that he continued to get better each and every year.
I'll just tell you this. They're going to win a lot of games with Jonathan Smith as their head coach. And one thing they've been missing since D'Antonio left was an identity. And the value of bringing in a guy like Smith is he has clarity of what he wants this program to look like. And what you've seen, starting with the Iowa game last week, is that identity start to come into play.
Childs flushed out. Childs escapes and makes something out of nothing. Gain of 2 for Childs. He is slippery.
That's a huge play. All right, now it's 2nd and 8, but that is a huge play to avoid a sack. Those are big, ferocious monsters coming after you, trying to sack you. I mean, there's a number of guys. There's number 91. There's, of course, Josiah Stewart. Kenneth Grant's back there. Cameron Grant. Those are big boys. And Childs, like you said, I like that word slippery. Very fitting.
2nd down and 8. Traditional I formation. Coming down the line and making the stop. Nice play was Jayshon Barham.
Jayshon Barham, he's coming off his best game of the season last week, and he's a guy that transferred in from Maryland. They had high hopes for him. They talked about him in the spring like he's a first-round talent and just hadn't been able to get that level of production going to start the year. But now here early in the game, that's a big play. Looks similar to how he did last week versus Illinois.
Coming. Ernest Hausman in the backfield.
Great linebacker play from Michigan. We just highlighted Jayshon Barham. Well, his buddy is Ernest Hausman, another guy that transferred from Nebraska a few years ago. Number 15, right there in the middle. He saw this from a mile away. He had his eyes on Lynch Adams. And that's what a good linebacker does. Instinctual trigger, and they go ahead and bloody his lip a bit.
4.5 tackles for loss now. First punt in a few weeks for Michigan State. Fair catch called for at the 30-yard line. Good punt by Ryan Eckley. Well, what do the Wolverines have up their sleeve for their 3rd drive? Find out next.
Welcome back. Michigan State leads here in the second, 7-0. There you see Kirk Campbell, offensive coordinator for Michigan here. He's usually in the booth, but tonight he said he's going to be on the sidelines. He told me he wants to be more present for the guys. This offense needs energy. He's hoping that with him down here, it can be the difference and really get something going. Hopefully they can get it going here, guys, on this drive.
Thanks so much, Brooke. 3rd drive for Michigan. Gained just 1 yard on drive number 1. Got a first down on their 2nd drive with 2 punts. Pitch it to the outside. Mullings. Hot pursuit. There the Spartans again. Nikai Martinez Had a pick last week. Now tackle for loss.
Made a few plays just like that last week, too. He's a safety, but great instincts. And it's a joy and a gift to watch a Joe Rossi-led defense. Had a number of top 10 defenses at Minnesota, top 10 in total, top 10 in scoring defenses. And what Martinez just did right there is part of that scheme with safeties that have to be involved in the running game.
0 rushing yards for Michigan so far. Davis Warren in the screen game. Loveland near a first down.
This is a great play. One of my favorite plays as a tight end. It's a little Y-high play, and what you're going to do is you're going to send Mullings on a wheel route. And watch Colston Loveland there to the right side. Watch how he delays, blocks, and then right as number 7, Jordan Turner, he's saying, well, there's no responsibility. He goes out to the sideline, and that's just an easy way to get a completion and confidence for your quarterback in Davis Warren.
3rd down and 1 and a must-have for the Wolverines. Mullings gets it. First down, Michigan. And you can feel the collective sigh from this fan base.
Yeah, and you know, Colston Loveland, he should have went up, should have got vertical on that Y-high, but he decided to kind of cut back across the field, which is what put them in that 3rd down situation. But you hand it to your big battering ram and Khalil Mullings, and you know, as you mentioned, a sigh of relief for the Wolverines.
Trying to stack those first downs, 1st and 10. To the outside. Samaj Morgan caught it, fell down, a loss of 3. Let's go back out to Chicago. Ashley Adamson is there.
Jeff, undefeated Penn State down 3 at Wisconsin until this. Drew Aller to his running back, Nick Singleton. How about the one-handed grab? Penn State now on top 7-3. Jeff.
Thanks so much, Ashley. Back at the big house. 2nd and 13. Trying to keep things simple for Davis Warren. Haven't seen that running game take full effect yet. Heat coming. Warren slips out of 1 and able to get a few yards back. 3rd and manageable.
That's where that first down play, it's a theme for both teams, is winning first down. And Michigan didn't sub here, so they got to, I didn't see Michigan sub.
They had an opportunity with a ton of Spartans on the field of play. And hand it off. Oh, hit right at the line of scrimmage. Driven backwards. Jones right there to make the hit. Matthews in on the stop too. 4th down.
I didn't see, and I could be wrong, but I didn't see anyone sub for Michigan. So, you know, the official was standing over the football.
Fourth down and 5 from midfield. Dolman to punt again, his 3rd punt. Fair catch, the 15-yard line for Foster. And Michigan State will have it in their hands again. 7-0 Michigan State. This was the play that we had in question. This was the 2nd down play leading to that 3rd and 5. But there was no substitution from Michigan. The center official is holding up play. And Michigan State's got players subbing in. Jake, you were all over this.
Yeah. I mean, this was intentional by Michigan to get into a hurry up. And this is what good offenses do. They should have been able to snap that and catch Michigan State with 12 on the field.
First and 10, Michigan State. Following the punt, swallowed up in the backfield, a loss of 3. Mike Pereira is out in Los Angeles. Long day for you, Mike, but should the center official have stopped play right there?
But Woody, he's reacting to the signal that the referee gave him, which is they call the iron cross, holding both arms out. And that means there was a substitution, but I certainly didn't see any substitution. So I really don't know why he would have been in that position.
Thanks so much, Mike. That's a missed opportunity for Michigan where they could have got a free 5 yards at least. Pryor's in the backfield after a loss of 3 on that big stop play. To the outside, Marsh has it. Sure tackle, the flag is down. Great play on the outside by Jair Hill. We'll check on the penalty. It's like
ineligible player downfield. Offense, number 66. That penalty will be declined. Go down.
Jake, go back to this play. Larry Smith is our referee. Again, this was that second down play in between the plays.
That's what Mike Pereira is saying, is signaling that Michigan substituted. They did not. That was a third and 5 or 3rd and 6. Should have been a free play. Should have been a penalty.
3rd and 9 for Michigan State on this drive. Conservative handoff. Carter gets to the outside and tripped up. Boy, it looked like he was going to be able to get the corner, but Wesley Walker saved a potential first down run.
Wow, and he came a long way to do it. That's the second time they went to that run on 3rd and 9. Number 13's not even on your screen. He's going to come from the left side, right out of there, right nowhere, right there. And man, oh man, he had to run a long way to make that play. Almost another big-time 3rd down conversion by Nate Carter.
Needed 9, they got 8. This Wolverine defense is starting to show their teeth last couple of drives. Well, Michigan has blocked a kick in 3 straight weeks. Eckley back to punt. Gets it away. Trying to return, Tyler Morris. And across the 35-yard line. Wolverines back on offense in 15 seconds. Long snapper Caden Schickel is the one down on the field right now. And being attended to by the training staff for Michigan State.
Long snapper, it's a big deal. In an environment like this, especially. Let's see right there. Oh my, those are the scary ones. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the non-contact play where you see that player go down and just crumple. And being assisted to his feet.
Oh man. Let's hope for the best.
There's Caden Schickel out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, junior. Well, folks, you can experience the expanded Big Ten Conference like never before. Big Ten Plus. 3,000 non-televised live events across the Big Ten. Plus, enjoy next-day game replays for every Big Ten game. Subscribe now at BigTenPlus.com. Still just 7-0, and as dominant as Michigan State has been, just a one-score game. Handed off, Edwards, not going anywhere. Chris Bogle, the first man to wrap him up.
The structure of this defense is what I expected with where this Michigan offense is, but Joe Rossi, we'll see if they line up in again. They are just daring Michigan to throw the ball right now, which is understandable with where the passing game is.
Owens 4 for 5, 23 yards. They've rushed for just 16 yards, this Michigan offense. Quick pass. Loveland tripped up again. Morgan was trying to set the edge, but unable to do so. Great job by Angelo Gross. And we got the left tackle, Miles Hinton, who just came back, who's down for Michigan. Excuse me, it's Andrew Gentry. Been starting at right tackle, 6'7", 327.
It's been a position to watch. Evan Link had been getting the starts, obviously right tackle right there. Evan Link had started the season. And Gentry, oh, another one of those, gosh, just the ones you don't want to see. He'd been playing good, had earned the starting job. They were excited to have Gentry and Miles Hinton starting at their tackle spots in this game. But just what you don't want to see.
Head coach Sharon Moore, longtime offensive line coach. Played offensive line himself at Oklahoma. And Gentry's going to go right into the locker room.
Very similar spot on the field, too.
And Gentry making his way off the field. They're going to wind the clock here shortly, making our way towards the 2-minute timeout in this first half, which has been dominated offensively by Michigan State. We will take the break. 2-minute timeout in Ann Arbor.
This is the 2-minute.
Sponsored by Abbott. It's the We Give Blood Drive leaderboard. Nebraska doubling up Wisconsin right now in terms of lives saved with their blood donations. Got Michigan in the number 5 spot right now. That's as of October 25th. 3rd down and 5. Saw Gentry leave and go to the locker room. That's Evan Link. Started the first few games on a right tackle. He's back in. Donovan Edwards, a lone setback for the Wolverines. Time to pass. Warren across the middle. Catch by Samaj Morgan. 1st down, Wolverines.
Really nice job by everybody there. Good job by Davis Warren. Michigan State was showing pressure. Warren felt it, was able to flush out of the pocket actually to that right side. And a good job by Samaj Morgan to uncover late, give him someone to throw to.
Going quick to the outside. Made a man miss. Peyton O'Leary down the sideline inside the 40-yard line.
Sometimes in these 2-minute scenarios, it really helps your quarterback because there's less thinking. These are, you have 10 to 12 plays that you practice every single day. They're familiar. And it looks like Davis Warren, those 2 completions now. That was a really nice completion out to the sidelines.
That's just O'Leary's 2nd catch of the season. His 1st since Arkansas State. Longest play of the game for the Wolverines. Got it out quick to Loveland. Close to the sticks. Coming up on the halftime show, sponsored by DirecTV. Dave Rebs and Ashley Adamson. Marcel Reese standing by. Scores, highlights from the entire day of Big Ten action, including the Nittany Lions and Badgers that are tangling right now in Madison. How about the Hoosiers at 8-0? Man, convincing win at home.
What a story. Curt Cignetti did it with their backup quarterback. They're just rolling.
Threw the ball 1 time in the 2nd half.
Indiana? Playoffs? Big Ten championship? It's all on the table.
First place in the Big Ten right now. Handoff. Edwards almost able to spring that one free. Malik Spencer prevented a big run. Michigan in enemy territory for the first time in the game on this drive. Edwards almost, and then wrapped up. Again, Spencer on the tackle. Clock will stop with 1:16 to go.
Timeout, Michigan. The first of the half.
Wolverines take a timeout back at 30 seconds. Close to the red zone, Jake. What are you thinking here for the Wolverines?
You know, they run flea flickers and trick plays down here. This situation calls for it.
Something they've gotten away from the last few weeks. Ron Moore saying, let's have some fun. Maybe. Toss to the outside. That's Edwards. First down in the red zone for Michigan.
That's a really nice block by the left tackle, Myles Hinton. Boy, are they excited to have him come back. This is a crack pull play, and you're going to see motion down. Colston Loveland seals the edge, and then the big fella. Not the cleanest block in the world, but you just got to get in their way and give Donovan Edwards a lane. Nice job, Myles Hinton. 342 pounds. Nimble out in space.
First and 10 from the 11-yard line. Edwards brought down from behind. Anthony Jones. Gain of 1.
No rush. You got 2 timeouts. You can just operate as if this is just a normal drive.
Again, Michigan deferred to the second half, so they're going to get the football out of halftime. A potential 2-for-1 deal for Michigan. Warren, wide open, touchdown Loveland.
A great drive by Kirk Campbell. Great drive by Davis Warren. That play, that's a play they called a few times versus Illinois, and Kirk Campbell said they missed Loveland on that exact corner route a number of times versus Illinois. Definitely not missing it tonight. Can't ask for an easier completion. If you're Michigan State, how do you leave Colston Loveland open?
Fumble snap. Pass. Intercepted in the end zone on the 2-point try. Malik Spencer able to tie the ball game. 7-6. See if that missed extra point on the fumbled snap comes back to bite Michigan. 29 seconds to go. Michigan State has 2 timeouts. Then the Wolverines are going to have the football out of halftime.
That was a great drive for Davis Warren.
And the key was keep everything simple, right, Jake? And it was very simple, but this was a great design by Michigan.
Yep, in motion, you use motion to confuse the defense. Watch this motion and how it affects the corner and the safety. So they send C.J. Charleston across the formation. And here comes Loveland. These two guys were communicating, saying, hey, you got him, you got him. They're trying to pass him off. And clearly someone messed up there. Number 4, Ed Woods, is trying to pass it off to his safety, number 43, Malik Spencer. That's what that motion is for, though, is to switch the count up and switch the assignments up.
25-yard line for Michigan State. 29 seconds to go. They run it right up the gut. And a huge run. Does that change your plan at all of what you might potentially do here, Jay?
Absolutely, absolutely. And with the injuries to Michigan secondary as well, you got to get up, you got to go. You might as well take some shots here.
Clock stops with the chains moving on that first down. Just a couple of seconds went by. Childs, pursuit from the backside. Down he goes. Ball is out. Michigan's got it.
This is what Josiah Stewart does. He has been the MVP of this defensive line, and if you're Aiden Childs, you have got to know that number 0 is on your backside. You've got to get the ball out in this situation. Josiah Stewart has been virtually unblockable, and he's working one-on-one here. Watch him, number 0. He beats the left tackle, Ramil, and for Childs, again, he's a young quarterback. You have to know situationally that clock has to go off in your head, understanding who Michigan is as a defense. That defensive line, they're coming. Held onto the ball far too long, and a good job by Josiah Stewart, not just getting the sack, but that's textbook teach tape to come punch out the football.
28th career sack for Josiah Stewart. 6.5 now on this season. He's got the forced fumble. It was Kenneth Grant that jumped on it. 2 timeouts. Everything is in play. Davis Warren slings to the outside. Edwards. Wide open greenery. Out of bounds. 6 seconds on the clock in the red zone.
And Donovan wants a flag. He thought he got hit late, but this is something we haven't seen as much as I would have expected as Donovan Edwards in the pass game. And here it is. He's running out of bounds, and I mean, it looked to me like his foot was, it looked like he was out of bounds. The crowd certainly sees that too. Good job by Davis Warren, though. You know, just understanding the situation. Don't force anything. And he felt Cal Halliday, the linebacker. He didn't go with Donovan Edwards and came all the way back around to dump it out to him in the flat.
And they're going to get a dress rehearsal, thankfully, because he missed that try. Back at 30 seconds. Only one opportunity to freeze a kicker for your opponent, so you use your timeout if you're Jonathan Smith.
He missed it.
He did.
The dress rehearsal.
37-yard try. And a kick blocked last week to Dominic Zavada. Kick is up. Kick is good. Right down the middle. 2 seconds to go. Now 9 out of 10, so that turnover was massive for Michigan State. Next Saturday, Northwestern clashes with Purdue, followed by UCLA heading to Lincoln to face the Huskers in a nightcap. That's where we'll be. USC and the Huskies of Washington. Football triple header next Saturday, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.
There's an ebb and flow to football. There's a momentum. It's not just you initiating momentum, it's surviving the momentum of your opponent. And Michigan State came out firing on both sides of the football. But something changed there in the middle of that first half. The D-line started dominating. They found balance offensively, and great end to the half for the Wolverines.
Alante Brown takes a knee, so 2 seconds to go. All it takes is a stop sometimes, Jake, and that's exactly what Michigan got after 2 long drives. And you wonder, that missed field goal on the first drive for Michigan State, yes, they scored on their second drive, but did that missed opportunity on that first drive give Michigan and their defense some momentum?
It always does. It always counts for something. But to start the game, I was so impressed by the Spartan offensive line. They were getting movement, creating holes through their double teams. And then Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant, man, they just, someone must have got in their ear. They got angry and started dominating there for the better half of the second quarter. And now, you know, halftime adjustments. Plenty of room for improvement for both teams.
First quarter dominated by the Spartans. Second quarter, got a touchdown late. Missed the extra point, and then a field goal. And the Wolverines have a 2-point lead.
Davis Warren looks very comfortable. Looks very comfortable, and that's going to benefit him here going into the second half.
Hit his last 10 throws. Let's go down to the field. Brooke Fletcher, Sharon Moore.
Coach, take me through those final moments of that half there.
Yeah, we got the momentum back. So our kids kept fighting. We didn't start off very strong. Offensively struggled to move it, and I thought the defense did a good job. And I think our O-line really stepped up in that last drive and made some really good throws. Davis made some really good throws and had some completions down the field. And defense, I think they adjusted after that one drive, and they've been doing a pretty good job.
Well, how do you maintain that momentum when you guys get the ball to start the second half?
Yeah, we got to reset our focus. We can't think that that's going to carry over into the next half, and I think we got to reset that focus and carry the momentum, but really go out and go fight this half.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, appreciate it.
For a game that's going to be won in the trenches, perfect the way Paul Bunyan would want it to be. Michigan State 9-7 at the half.
Wolverines trying to keep the Paul Bunyan Trophy in Ann Arbor. They came alive before the half. Colston Loveland found the end zone, and Michigan may have rediscovered their quarterback. Warren Davis, 10 of 11, 79 yards and a touchdown. Michigan leading 9-7. They scored all of their points in the final 29 seconds of the first half. It is Big Ten Live Halftime, presented by DirecTV. Dave Revson, Ashley Adamson, and Marcel Reese. Nothing was working for Michigan early, and all of a sudden things started to change. What was it?
It was a 2-minute drill. It was a 2-minute drill. They had no pressure. They didn't have time to think. All they had to do was line up and play football. And if you're looking at this last drive, you're saying, this is why Davis Warren won this job initially to start the season. He was efficient, he was accurate with the football, and he looked comfortable in operating this offense, and that's why they won.
10 of 11. That's pretty accurate. And not a ton of big shots downfield. Michigan State has controlled the line of scrimmage, has controlled the run game. We talked about how important that is in this game, and Jake mentioned it as well. But again, it's Michigan on top of the scoreboard, and now can they finish? We know they have not been good in second halves. They have 33 points combined last 5 second halves. So now they need to finish it off and get a win they really need.
Yeah, because they're getting dominated at the line of scrimmage, and Michigan State is imposing their will. Michigan State just has to finish. They have to finish this game, and they have to be intentional with their decision making. It's not just when you have turnovers and commit turnovers, but where they happen. Yeah. And Aiden Childs has to be more cognizant of the situation in these games and not have those type of turnovers.
And Jonathan Smith might want that decision to go for it back as first turnover of the game. The two teams that lead the Big Ten with the most turnovers this year. Michigan State makes the first mistake, and it costs them the lead. Let's check out the other game going on, Penn State and Wisconsin. Badgers are punting, or are they? Atticus Bertram's looked like it was going to be blocked. He evades the would-be punt blocker and then evades some tacklers as well. Gets a first down. The Badgers get a field goal out of it. Second quarter, here comes Penn State. Drew Aller, how about this catch by Nick Singleton?
Ooh. Fends off the defender with the left hand and only needs one to catch the ball. Great play.
He has more receiving touchdowns than rushing touchdowns this year. He's really capable out of the backfield. But the Badgers have just retaken the lead. Tawi Walker with the TD run. It is 10-7 in Madison as they inch toward the half. We are at the half in Ann Arbor. Want to catch you up on everything else going on throughout the Big Ten today. A couple nail biters, a couple blowouts. And the Hoosiers are still perfect. All those highlights coming up.
Oregon Ducks playing as the #1 team in America for the first time in 12 years, hosting a top 20 Illinois squad. Dylan Gabriel just making a cup of coffee in the backfield. He finally finds Tez Johnson, who finds the end zone. Oregon on top early, 7-0. A little bit later, it's 14-0 Oregon. Luke Altmaier trying to find something. He only had one interception so far coming into this game, but in this one he had two. Tysheem Johnson picking it off there. Ducks forced 2 turnovers, but no points to show for that. They did have plenty of points on the day. Noah Whittington, the bowling ball, 527 total yards. Oregon rolls the Illini.
How about number 4, Ohio State, coming off that loss to Oregon? They had the bye week, of course, in between, and they were in trouble against Nebraska. Dante Dowdell there. Huskers on top 17-14, but the Buckeyes score on the very next drive. Will Howard, one of his 3 TD passes, this one to Quinshon Judkins. Just 285 yards of offense, though, for the Bucs. They had to win it with the D, and that was exactly what they did. Dylan Raiola throws it right at Jordan Hancock. Ohio State kneels it out 6-1 as they head to Penn State next week.
Number 13, Indiana hosting Washington. Huskies coming off the bye week. Will Rogers has had some trouble with the interceptions in the last few games. D'Angelo Pons, the pick six, he had 2 interceptions in this game. Indiana was on top by 10 at the half. Damon Williams in at backup for the Huskies, and he finds the end zone, 17-14, making it a little closer. But as they always do, the Hoosiers pull away. Justice Ellison, the workhorse, 29 carries, 123 yards, and that touchdown as IU stays perfect on the season.
Gophers and Terps, first quarter, it's already 14-0 in favor of Minnesota. Billy Edwards picked off by Justin Wally. How about 21 first quarter points for the Gophers? They had 12 all season coming in. Late in the second quarter, more for Minnesota. Max Brosmer, plenty of time. Daniel Jackson, second touchdown catch of the day. Brosmer threw for 320, most for a Gopher in 5 years. He hits Elijah Spencer here for one of his 2 TDs. The Gophers thumping Maryland 48-23.
Northwestern Iowa, look who is in the house. Caitlin Clark. You knew the Hawkeyes could not lose. Just before the half, it's 7-5. Caleb Johnson finally gets free and does what he does, Marcel.
You know, eventually on a Saturday, Caleb Johnson is going to get in the end zone. It was good to see him happen there.
He had 3 touchdowns in this game, 16 on the year. How about Caden Weegan returning the punt? 85 yards, house call. Second time in the last 3 weeks that Iowa put up 40 points.
A little more low-scoring affair at the Big House. Nate Carter, the lone Michigan State touchdown, but it's the Maize and Blue up 2 at the break.
The Big Ten Live Halftime Report is sponsored by DirecTV. Stream Big Ten football all season long on DirecTV without a satellite dish.
Spartans outgained the Wolverines on the ground by 82 yards in the first half. Nate Carter leading the way, but Michigan State with plenty more work to do. Down 2 to the Wolverines in Ann Arbor. We'll see you after the game. Enjoy it.
Tonight's Big Ten Impact Research takes us to Ann Arbor, where a prototype driverless shuttle ferried passengers from a distant lot. A connected vehicle senses a car stopped ahead and gently brakes. These scenarios give a glimpse of the future of connected and automated transportation, and they're happening right now at the University of Michigan's campus. Leading the way is M-City, a unique public-private partnership that brings together researchers and collaborators from industry, government, and academia, all working to make advanced mobility vehicles and technologies a reality. 9-7, Michigan leading Michigan State. Start of the third quarter at the Big House. Hey again, everybody. Welcome back with Jake Butt. We got Brooke Fletcher down in the field. Jeff Levering with you. First quarter dominated by Michigan State, especially running the football. But Michigan, after that turnover and got that field goal late, they've seized momentum.
Yeah, a big part of these rivalries is managing your emotions and managing the moment, too, right? Michigan State clearly had a great game plan, and they came out swinging and firing and completely controlled the game by running the football. And then it started with Michigan's defensive line. They started to make plays. They won first down, which put the Spartans in third and long situations. And then the turnovers started to come, like you said there, Jeff, which is one of our keys to the game. So now you got halftime adjustments. Whole new game here for the next 30 minutes.
Tonight's team comparison sponsored by Safelite. And again, 15 yards. That's it for Michigan in that first quarter. 135 for Michigan State. Totally flipped the script in the second quarter. Davis Warren making his first start in a month. Started 0 for 1, completed his last 10 passes in that first half. Kim kicks it away. It's a touchback. And let's go downstairs to Brooke Fletcher.
Yeah, I spoke with Jonathan Smith on what his message was to his team. He said, man, we did not finish that half how we wanted to. He said, we used halftime to regroup here. And, man, we got to get something going on offense. They didn't do anything in the second quarter. We have to finish drives. And, guys, we talked about this. They want to find balance on that offense. Found success in the run game. That kind of set the tone. But they need to see some more explosiveness in the passing game. He said it's going to be a dogfight through all 4 quarters, guys.
119 rushing yards for Michigan State in that first half. Just 41 through the air, plus the sack and turnover. Not just a 2-for-1, a potential 3-for-1 in terms of scores. As Davis Warren throws it, and it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Tyler Morris. It's his second incompletion.
These are the plays that have plagued Michigan all year. I mean, Kirk Campbell comes out of half. They probably talk about it. Let's say, hey, Davis, let's get you an easy completion. He's wide open, right? I mean, this is day one stuff. It's really the difference. It's the reason Michigan is in a must-win situation at this point in the season. I believe they're much more talented than their record and than the product that they put on the field. It's those plays like that that are the difference between the good teams and the great teams.
2nd and 10 into the belly of Mullings, who's been awfully quiet. 6th carry. He's just got a couple of yards. And you talk about that schedule. Michigan's got Oregon, Indiana, who is undefeated still, Northwestern Ohio State. This is a must-win.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. And to think that's what we're saying right now. 9 months ago, they were dancing as the confetti fell, and they celebrated an undefeated national championship season. But their backs are up against the wall at this point in the season.
3rd and long. Warren to pass. It's caught. First down, Michigan. Samaj Morgan with another first down catch. But again, you've got one of 3 FBS teams with 3 remaining games against top 15 opponents. We saw Oregon absolutely destroy Illinois earlier today. Ohio State snuck one out against Nebraska, but again, they are a top team.
Yeah, that's why this game, it's important to win today, not just to get work towards your bowl record, but it's also important to win. So this team feels confident that they can compete with those teams down the back stretch of the schedule.
Alex Orji's in the ballgame. He's got the edge. He's got the sideline. Alex Orji into Spartan territory.
This is why they use Alex Orji in this game, and it's a good job by Orji as a runner. Watch him press this hole initially as he's following Giovanni El-Hadi, his guard that gets pulled around, and there's Khalil Mullings, the running back, all the way out at the edge, helping get that extra 10-15 yards down the field. This is what we saw Orji do last year, even with J.J. McCarthy as the starter. They would use him in these types of packages. He's a dynamic athlete. At one point, Jeff, he was returning kicks. Jim Harbaugh had him as the 2nd or 3rd kick returner, if that tells you anything about his athleticism.
The first play of over 20 yards in the game for Michigan. Here's your flea flicker. Warren to the corner. Caught. First time across the 50. There's your trick play.
And that was a dart by Davis Warren. This wasn't wide open. Michigan State actually defended this pretty well. You use the flea flicker to give him a clean pocket, but look at that. He's dropping that over the linebacker and underneath the safety, dropping that over Ed Woods and underneath Malik Spencer. That's a tight window that Davis Warren fit that into, and that one had some serious juice behind it.
Tyler Morris was the recipient of that dart.
Okay, they're going with no quarterback. Check that, Samaj Morgan.
There goes Samaj Morgan. Morgan going to keep it as he faked the toss. He's inside the 5-yard line. Orji was out on the far side, was used as a decoy. Now they're bringing out their bag of tricks.
How about Kirk Campbell, man? Talk about halftime adjustments. They had all these plays down. This is what halftime is for. You go into halftime and you say, guys, these are the plays we're thinking about running. And Kirk Campbell, every play he's called has worked so far to start the half. That's an awesome gadget play to complement the flea flicker.
Warren back in, Mullings the back. 2nd down and 3. Mullings. Going to be close. They're going to mark him a yard short.
And we saw Michigan's defense bow up in this area of the field on Michigan State's first drive. Tell you what, when you're talking about running the ball, the guy to watch, that's Max Bredesen, their fullback.
Mullings is short of the end zone, but it's a 1st and goal for the Wolverines.
They've rotated the center position. It was kind of a battle between Greg Crippen and Dominic Jadis. But Sharon Moore said he's really liked what he's seen out of Greg Crippen. He's solidified and become the full-time starter now. And that's Khalil Mullings at 235 pounds, just running downhill. A lot of inertia there. Very hard to stop.
Got an extra lineman in right now. Jeff Percy, backup left tackle. He's in the game. Jumbo package. Bredesen, the bottom of the eye. Give it to Mullings. Mullings still on his feet, wrapped up, nowhere to go. May have lost a yard.
We're getting a chance. What a treat to see big-time Big Ten football. So Khalil, you are down here, you want to run your feet, run your feet. It looked like Mullings was going to be able to squeak through here. And number 5, Jordan Hall, excuse me, that's number 9, Jalen Thompson, was able to grab him and pull him backwards. Nice play.
Same formation, 2nd and goal. Warren to pass. Warren, incomplete. No flag, good coverage by Jordan Hall.
I think that might have been Darius Snow, number 23, covering Colston in great coverage indeed, great discipline. Because you obviously got to respect the run. Colston was blocking for 2 seconds to start that play, and Darius Snow didn't bite on it. I mean, he was on him, tight coverage.
Well, what now? 3rd down and goal from the 2.
You got 2 plays once again, and Alex Orji's in there. I think we all know what we expect to see here. Downhill. Watch Max Bredesen, number 44. Watch him come in motion.
Orji keeps. Orji and touchdown. First rushing score of the year for Alex Orji.
Kurt Campbell deep in his bag to start this second half. Pulling out all the tricks. No trick needed down inside the 5 there. This is who Michigan football is. Max Bredesen, you get into the short motion, crack the edge, have a couple pullers and a lead blocker for your quarterback, who's also a battering ram at 6'3", 235. Well, Sharon Moore, he's head coach now, offensive line coach last year. He said the one word he wants to describe his team, it's smash. How about that? That's smash, baby. Michigan up 16-7.
Welcome back. Michigan up 16-7 here in the 3rd quarter thanks to Alex Orji. And this offense here, he was getting greeted by his teammates, one of those being Davis Warren there. Looks like they're doing their little handshake, getting a little headbutt there. Coach Moore told us this week, guys, he believes these two complement each other well and will give this offense into the right rhythm. Kurt Campbell echoed that sentiment, noting their selflessness and how Davis actually feeds off of Alex's energy. Ultimately, they both just want what's best for the team, and they want to go out and get this W here tonight, guys.
Thanks so much, Brooke. I don't know how she hears herself down there. It is loud in this place. 100,000 plus. 16 unanswered so far for the Michigan Wolverines. Looked like Brown wanted to go run that one out. Instead, fair catch. Followed it. Make sure that B1G Football right now on X, YouTube, and Instagram. Make sure you get immediate access, best highlights, features, everything you want. Having a great story, by the way. We're out to dinner last night on the streets of Ann Arbor, and Jake Butt is recognized by a number of fans. By the way, they're spotting the ball at the 5-yard line. That's a problem. That is a problem. To the outside to Felling. And a first down for Michigan State. Quiets the crowd.
So, a little miscommunication. Two returners back there, not on the same page. You see the frustration from number 0, Lonte Brown. He wanted to return that. And Jonathan Smith certainly not happy on the sidelines.
Second down and 1. They mark them just short of a first down. A lot of pressure. Carter stays on his feet, gets a first down. Unbelievable run right there. Got out of the grasp of Zeke Berry to turn it into a first down for Michigan State.
Nate Carter is having a really good game, and Zeke Berry was coming off the slot, nickel pressure. And Carter knew, I mean, this one was clear as day. Carter saw that, and what he just keeps doing is making guys miss. I mean, Zeke Berry had a full head of steam, and Carter, once again, breaking tackles. Really, really nice run.
81 yards on the ground so far for Carter. To the outside. Slung down after a gain. And Torrey Foster on the catch.
So we knew with Will Johnson out, this secondary was going to be tested. And what's impressed me most, that's a really nice tackle by Jair Hill. He's only a sophomore. He's been a little bit volatile this season. Done a lot of good things and had a few games that were less than his standard. But with Will Johnson out, he played a good game.
Toss to the outside, trying to get that edge, unable to do so. Maybe the 25-yard line. Carter again on the carry. Big third down.
Have to be alert for Childs rushing here. Something they used periodically in the first half, but certainly alive on 3rd and 3.
Pressure coming, ball floated in the air, caught by Foster across the 50-yard line. Great adjustment with the body by Montorie Foster.
And a big-time throw by Childs, too, because he had Jayshawn Barham on him. A split second longer, and that's a sack and maybe a fumble. And Foster, the 5th-year senior, coming back for that football, making a nice catch.
He and Marsh each had 100 yards receiving last week against Iowa. Foster, his 3rd catch. That one was good for 30. Toss to the outside. Gonna keep. Makes a man miss and then lowers the shoulder close to a first down. Great run by Carter.
Well, that fake reverse, he had everyone fooled, including me. I thought he handed it off. Watch this. Carter's going to fake the reverse right there to Nick Marsh. And Michigan very thankful that Makari Page has stayed home. And then this is what this rivalry is all about. Some running backs, they might just run out of bounds. Nate Carter, that's not him.
92 yards on the ground from Carter. Lynch Adams checks in. Lynch Adams almost dragged down from behind, gets just across the 30-yard line. Trying to get him going. This is his 6th carry.
Brian Lindgren, Aiden Childs, and the Spartan offense are putting together a nice drive, and this is a big moment in the game. As we talked about, Michigan was able to string together drive after drive after drive and got the ball coming out of half. They were putting up points in bunches and seized the momentum, and now Michigan State, they're putting together their own drive.
Carter's back in. Carter gets it, makes one cut. He's about a yard short of a first down.
This game always has guys step up. We've seen it historically. It was J.J. McCarthy last year, Kenneth Walker, of course, during my time. It was Connor Cook and Aaron Burbridge. I'll tell you what, Nate Carter from Michigan State is having one of those days right now where he has been carrying this Spartan offense.
Play clock at 2. Handed off, Carter runs right into the midst of Kenneth Grant, driven backwards.
Kenneth Grant is a polar bear. He is a double-wide refrigerator that can run like an athlete. Watch him in the middle. I don't even need to circle him. You can't miss him. At 340 pounds, you should be able to move that quickly, and that's no easy task for anyone. Tanner Miller, the center, never had a chance. Kenneth Grant, that's a first-round pick in next year's NFL draft.
46-yard try from Jonathan Kim, missed from 25 earlier in the game. Kick is up, kick is good. Jonathan Kim, good from 46, cashes in for 3 for the Spartans. Here's tonight's trivia on the Big Ten Network. It's sponsored by T-Mobile. When was the last time 2 first-year head coaches at their respective schools faced off in this rivalry, and who were they? What do you got, Jake?
I don't know what I got, but I think you got to go way back, because it wasn't Jim Harbaugh.
Okay. It's been a while.
That's all I got for you.
It's been a while.
You got to go back.
It has been a while for a Michigan coach to win their debut game against Michigan State.
And that stat tells me we might have to go back in time a bit.
Get in the Wayback Machine?
Way back.
I was telling that story about someone recognizing you, by the way, in the streets of Ann Arbor. I said, oh my gosh, that's Jake Butt. I follow you. Here's an onside kick attempt. Ball is loose. Looks like Michigan jumped on it. There's a flag down. Michigan did recover.
I think that's Tavier Dunlap. Yep. Veteran running back, been in the program for years. Heads up play. And yes, you celebrate those kind of things. That could have been a big play for Michigan State.
Offside. Attention team. 5-yard penalty will be enforced to end the kick. First down, Michigan.
Wouldn't have mattered, but.
TV, timeout.
Surprise onside kick from Michigan State.
There's the offside. There's the offside.
Just barely. Michigan recovers. Jake's been grinding for the answer. Last time 2 first-year head coaches faced off in this rivalry. Who were they? You were fresh, baby Jake Butt. 1995, Nick Saban and Lloyd Carr.
I was probably 3 months old at that point. Talk about legends.
One was in Bloomington today, Nick Saban. Part of College Game Day, watching that Indiana game against Washington.
This game has flown by.
This is where, as a baseball guy, you knock on anything. But yes, it has. There's Nick Saban, Lloyd Carr, started in 1995. And last time 2 head coaches were in this rivalry, same year. Great trivia question. Play clock winding down. Get it away at 2. Hand it off, Edwards. After a gain of 1, 3rd down and 9.
Well, that last drive, Kirk Campbell really emptied his bag of tricks, right? And now you go with routine run. Michigan State, very fundamentally sound defense. and 3rd and long and a chance here for the Spartans. They would love, love, love to get off the field. Have not had many sacks in recent weeks, though.
None in the last 3 games. Hardly any pressures. Loveland is on the bottom part of your formation.
And they're going to drop someone out in coverage. Very unique coverage on him here.
Warren to pass across the middle, and he almost hit the umpire. Boy, the Spartans catch a huge break. He was open.
I have been in this situation before. It is very difficult. You lose the ball right behind the umpire, and Colston Loveland does not drop many passes. That is not an easy catch, but when you're amongst the best tight ends in college football, maybe the best, that's one I know he holds himself to have caught.
Well, after getting that great field position after the onside kick attempt, Michigan does nothing with it. So Doman tries to pin Michigan State deep. Fair catch called for and secured by Foster. You know, Halloween is coming up, Jake. I think what I'm going to go as is Jake Butt. I finally was able to tell the end of that story. Don't want to miss an upset? Just tell Siri, show me the Big Ten football schedule. Great atmosphere at the Big House tonight. Spartans pinned inside the 15-yard line for a 3rd time in this game.
False start. Offense number 82. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Go downstairs, Brooke Fletcher.
On that last drive, Montori Foster went over to Aiden Childs, clearly frustrated, just trying to get on the same page. Aiden's teammates told me over the week what makes him so good is just how intentional he is with his approach. Always asking his teammates, hey, what can I be better at? Something that really improved over the bye week. You can tell they're just trying to establish that dialogue and get something going on this drive here, guys.
The Foster's had the hot hand receiving. Marsh, who went off for 113 yards on 8 catches, has been held to just 2 catches and 19 yards. Empty backfield, 1st and 15. Childs takes the short one, gets it out to his tight end, Parachek.
Parachek has the penalty, brings him right back. The circle of life.
Here's your rush pass on the season. And they did so much running of the football last week against Iowa. Today it has been very heavy rush. And we talked about it, Jake. The key was the trenches.
I mean, that's really, from a trend standpoint, that's who Jonathan Smith has been and wants them to be. And really, that's what this rivalry is. Like we said, 48 of the last 54 winners in this game have won the rushing battle. Right now, Michigan State is winning that rushing battle. Michigan winning the game.
Childs to the outside, a high pass. Able to bring it in and make the catch was Marsh, but a very minimal gain. 3rd down after a gain of 3. Trying to get Marsh in some space and do some work.
Their best 3rd down play has actually been a handoff. I think they've been able to take advantage of Michigan's D-line, kind of getting into that pass rush stance. We'll see what Lindgren goes with here.
There's 1 for their last 5 on 3rd down, the Spartans. Childs to the outside, too tall. Coverage by Zeke Berry.
Zeke Berry's fired up, rightfully so. He's been close, but been on the wrong side of a number of plays today. Just missed the tackle there on 2nd down. They try him on 3rd down, great coverage.
Another punt from Ryan Eckley. Samaj Morgan deep for Michigan. Fielded up 33. Morgan made the first man miss to the outside. Pushed out of bounds at the 40. Stepping aside for 15 seconds. Michigan's got the football up by 6 later tonight. Penn State, USC square off in a marquee top 20 Saturday night volleyball showdown. Coverage begins 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Orji back in, keeps, hit once, and then brought down by a gang of Spartans after a gain of 2.5. Third quarter is winding down in Ann Arbor. You know what that means. Time for the Killers. Mr. Brightside. During our commercial timeouts, previous play under review for potential targeting. And that's a huge player, Jordan Turner from Michigan State. Lowers the head, not a defenseless runner, and Alex Orji right there as we bring in Mike Pereira. Mike, what do you see?
Yeah, I mean, I see what you have is using the crown of your helmet, dipping your head, clearly dips his head. Is there an indicator? It's the attacking mode to me, so I think replay did a good job stopping this, and the question is it maybe just the forehead? But I like the crown. To me, I can see this as targeting.
Thank you so much, Mike. It looks like we have a verdict on the field.
During the media timeout, we had a stoppage by replay. It was determined that number 7 of the defense was guilty of a personal foul with targeting. Number 7 has been disqualified from the game.
That is such a big call for Jordan Turner, the leader of this defense, out for the rest of this ball game and the first half of the next one.
Listen, I understand the rules. Mike did a good job, Pereira, of laying that out. By the rules, targeting. There's nothing malicious about that. I have my opinions. I feel for Jordan Turner because sometimes those kind of plays happen in football. And this is a rivalry game that both teams will remember for the rest of their lives. He is the captain of this defense and an impact player, and certainly a huge loss. I feel for Jordan Turner, but yes, per the rules, a targeting.
And for Alex Orji to put his head down, made that look into a much worse hit, but to the letter of the law,
yes,
leading with the crown of the helmet. That is targeting, and that will be called.
It's for the right reasons, right? These are trying to protect the future of these young men. I get it, but I feel for Jordan Turner, again, just the leader and the heartbeat of this Spartan defense.
Play action, Warren down the middle, incomplete. Boy, he had multiple options. He was trying to get it to Bredesen, but he had Colston Loveland wide open.
Well, he did, but they dropped out underneath him. Number 5, Jordan Hall, dropped out underneath him, and Max Bredesen did a good job. You see number 5, he was the one that dropped under Colston, and between 5 and 10, Wayne Matthews, there was a little bit of a pocket there. Davis Warren wasn't able to get it to Max Bredesen, who really isn't known as a receiver, but had his chance there, weren't able to connect.
Orji's in the game. Orji, sprint right. And brought down, good tackle. Going low and making the stop, that was Spencer. Gain of 7 for Orji.
Orji is a physical runner. I mean, normally as a defense, you like the chance to hit a quarterback. I don't think that's the case with Alex Orji because he's the one that initiates the contact. He is a physical runner, and here, 3rd and 3. I got my eyes on number 18, Colston Loveland. There he is. That's a better circle for you there.
Put Klein in motion, Warren to throw it. Catch made, Kendrick Bell.
Davis Warren is putting together a really solid game today. He had Loveland in the flat, decided not to go with them,
And you see number 12 working across the field, Kendrick Bell. Davis Warren. This guy has overcome so much in his life, beat cancer, has stuck around in this program, got benched after 3 interceptions in Arkansas State, and has waited patiently for this opportunity. In the biggest moment, we talked about a must-win game. He's shown up big for the Wolverines.
Edwards gets a toss. He's passing it. Touchdown! Colston Loveland is second of the game.
This is something Donovan Edwards has in his arsenal. Had a touchdown in the Big Ten Championship a few years ago against Iowa. Of course, Donovan is a great runner. They're going to toss it to him, and Colston's going to come down to block and then leak to the corner. And watch how this fools Michigan State. There's the toss. Colston's looking like he's blocking. And number 43, Malik Spencer, as you're told as the safety, you're supposed to be higher than the highest. Completely bit on that play. And that's 2 easy touchdowns for Colston Loveland. 2 touchdowns that he's saying to Kirk Campbell, thank you, as a play caller for scheming him open.
We've seen a couple of trick plays in this one, Jake. They're going to go for 2. Warren again to Loveland. Like peanut butter and jelly. Edwards throws for the touchdown. Loveland with 2 scores. The battle for the Paul Bunyan Trophy. Football on the Big Ten Network is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. And by McDonald's. Emotion on both sides of the field. What's on the line? That 4-foot statue, the Paul Bunyan Trophy. Some have replicas. That baby's real. And he's fantastic.
And he's got a great beard. And he's clearly in shape. So a clean diet.
Fair catch called for. Let's go to Chicago. Ashley Adamson.
Jeff, Drew Aller out with an injury since the first half in Madison, but Penn State's defense stepped up. How about Jalen Reed picking off Braden Locke? It's a pick 6, and Nittany Lions regain the lead right now, up 1 as we head to the 4th quarter at Camp Randall, guys.
Wow, what a battle out in Madison. Michigan State might have to rely on the arm of Aiden Childs here, Jake. Down 14 points, 13:20 to go. You just don't know how many more opportunities you're going to get.
And with that in mind, right, the key would then be to protect the football.
Set up the screen. Tight end screen out to Velling. Close to a first down. November 4th, Big Ten basketball returns with a triple header featuring the Boilermakers, Wolverines, and Trojans in action. It's all right here on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Picked up 9 on first down, so second down and short. We talked about how big that screen game and draw game would be against this power rushing defense. It's been there at times. And handed off on second and short. First down, Michigan State on the run by K'Ron Lynch Adams.
Childs has played a clean game for the most part. 11 for 14, 105 yards. Had that key fumble going into half. That was certainly a big moment in this game. But we haven't seen him really test the Michigan secondary, which is without Will Johnson, all too much this game.
Great pursuit. Nowhere to go. Barham right there to wrap up Lynch Adams.
Man, Barham starting last week, continuing this week. He's stringing together 2 really good games. Take a look at him right here.
6'3", 250 pounds, and he is a load to try to block. Lynch Adams, that's not a great sight to see when you see number 1 in your face right away, forcing Michigan State to go nowhere.
Pressure coming to the outside, almost intercepted. Shug was trying to get himself into the cookie jar there.
Jair Hill is having a really, really good game tonight. This is pure instincts. Watch as Nick Marsh is running the under route, and there's Childs. That ball should not be thrown. From pre-snap leverage, Jair Hill is playing inside. That under route is dead, and that's Childs just pressing to try to get his star wide receiver the ball. And now 3rd down. Again, I expect a draw, a screen, or watch Childs running the ball.
Handed off, Carter, big gain. He's across the 50-yard line. Been a while since we've called his name. Only 16 yards in the second half. Tell that gasher.
That's the 3rd or 4th time they've run this stretch zone on 3rd and long, and it's worked. It's been their best play, and I'm telling Carter, that guy is a violent runner. He's a one-cut back. They like to run those stretch zones, and then Carter puts his foot in the ground. He had 10 yards of a running head start to deliver the blow at the end of that run there.
He's had the hot hand for Michigan State into Wolverine territory. Pressure coming, screen to the outside. Cadillac's got it across the 45, Alante Brown. Final drive recaps the entire day around the conference. It's tonight after volleyball, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Using some tempo now, Childs hands it off, one cut, 1st down, Michigan State.
These games, there's always one guy to step up. Again, it was J.J. McCarthy last year, Kenneth Walker, we saw him a few years back. Connor Cook, Aaron Burbridge, going back to my time. For Michigan State, it's all been about Nate Carter. He's putting together a really, really good game, and Michigan has to figure out an answer.
Almost 150 yards of total offense for Carter, 114 on the ground. Childs to throw it. Velling again on that tight end screen. I mean, tight end day is tomorrow, Jake, officially, so Velling's getting himself involved.
Both coordinators are doing a good job getting their tight ends involved today, right? It is the holiday tomorrow. It's National Tight Ends Day. Wait a second here.
The officials were not stopping the play. They did in the first half. Carter stretched out and wrapped up by Grant.
Big Kenneth Grant. You got to put 2 guys on that man. He's the size of 2 guys. Well, he's been the showstopper in the middle of the defense when they've needed it.
Now, this is a drive, Jake, where you cannot settle for 3. 3's fine, but this feels like touchdown or bust for Michigan State.
Has to be. With the way they're playing offense.
Lynch Adams across the 20 into the red zone for Michigan State.
Big piece of the running game for Michigan State is the cutback. Watch this by Lynch Adams. Pushing it, and then the best backs, they feel that cutback lane. Nice run by Lynch Adams.
Absorbed a big hit at the end. Lynch Adams stays in the game. Childs steps up, down he goes. Cameron Brandt, first sack of the year.
And that's a coverage sack as much as anything. Cameron Brandt, number 91, watch him working down there on the right tackle, Ashton Lepo, but you see Childs, he had to clutch that a few times, and certainly had Nick Marsh underneath. He had a chance at it, but his eyes weren't in the right place. But a good job late there by Childs tucking the ball because Brant was trying to punch that one out too.
Second sack of the game for Michigan. Play clock winding down. Childs hands it off. Lynch Adams wrapped up. Ernest Hausman brought him down by the ankles.
Well, to your point a second ago, Jeff, this is you need a touchdown. So you have 2 shots at this one. Keep an eye on number 12, Jack Velling. He's been having a big game. There's Jack Velling, number 12, tight end.
Marsh on Nyland. Top of the screen. Childs hits Marsh. Puts the brakes on. A race to the end zone. Touchdown. Oh, that kid's exciting. Nick Marsh in for the score.
Well, with Will Johnson out, I was expecting Nick Marsh to have a big game. Kind of a quiet game up until this point, but this is why he's so dynamic. He can change the game at any point. And that's a slant route, but a veteran release. You see him release and made Amir Hall thinking Amir Hall thought he's running the fade. And this is what separates Nick Marsh. It's that playmaking ability, the yards after the catch. He's only a true freshman, but he's up there with the best in that class, and we know there's some good ones in Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams.
Top gun move right there. The old Maverick hit the brakes, let him fly right by. Whoop. Another score for Nick Marsh. Second of the season. Got a ball game in Ann Arbor. Seven-point game, 6:12 to go. Tonight's Star Comparison, Jake. It's sponsored by Zales. Nate Carter for Michigan State. Colston Loveland on tight end weekend. 67 yards receiving, 2 scores.
Yeah, I mean, those 2 touchdowns, too, are really all about Kirk Campbell. I mean, was wide open on those plays. And for Nate Carter, it's the yards, but it's when he's done it. He's converted 3 or 4 third and longs to help sustain drives. Those 2 guys, man, they've been fun to watch.
Temperature down to 35 in Michigan. Wolverines get it back next Saturday. Northwestern clashes with Purdue. UCLA heads to Lincoln. The nightcap out of the Pacific Northwest, USC and Washington. Football triple header next Saturday. Only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Big drive coming up right now, not only for Michigan's offense, but the defense for Michigan State with no Jordan Turner. Hand it off. Edwards going nowhere. Kirk Campbell has called a great game after about series number 3.
Yeah, Michigan State, they've had no answer for the creativity of Kirk Campbell in the second half. They haven't had much success just kind of lining it up and running the ball. He's done a good job mixing in key runs with Alex Orji. Some of the trick plays have showed up. Look, he caught a lot of heat. Only scored 7 points off a bye week versus Illinois last week. But when I looked at the film, I saw guys that were open. Michigan wasn't executing. Once again, calling great plays, but for the most part, Michigan has been executing tonight.
Almost doubling up the Wolverines in the run game of the Spartans. What a great play in pursuit. No gloves, Cal Haladay.
Well, I don't want to sell this one short. This is the most important play of the game to this point, Jeff. We're gonna find Colston Loveland. That's the guy to watch. And let's see what Joe Rossi does. Do they double team him?
Both teams have all 3 timeouts.
There's Loveland. So far, the protection has been sound for Michigan so far in this game.
Heat coming outside, incomplete. Michigan State's defense holds.
Was a good job in protection for Khalil Mullings. It was a good job in protection by Khalil Mullings. Joe Rossi brought the pressure, but it was the zone coverage behind it. Look at the discipline. That's Cal Haladay, number 27. You see him drop back right in the line of vision. Michigan's trying to run those crossing routes, and Cal Haladay was there.
Big 3-and-out, knuckleball punt. And Michigan State is going to have unbelievable field position. 7-point game, 4:42 to go. Jake, in every game, it's the little things. Had a missed field goal on the first drive of the game. Time winding down in the second quarter. You had the sack, forced fumble, led to a field goal for Michigan. I mean, these are totally difference-making moments in this game.
That's what makes this rivalry so fun and so special. There's always those crazy plays, and you don't know which one's going to be the difference maker. I lived through one, the trouble with the snap.
Childs running out of time, and he throws it away. He's got it to the line of scrimmage. Was anybody in the neighborhood?
He didn't leave the pocket either. That's grounding.
That is grounding.
A huge, that's a miscue.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 2. It'd be a loss of down, 2-5 foul. Second down.
And that's a miscue by Childs. I believe that was Derek Moore, number 8, that won and was in his lap. I mean, that is Michigan State picture perfect field position. And now you're talking about 2nd and 24. Now, I will say, this is where Nate Carter has been cracking off some big-time runs.
Gonna throw it, Childs. Got a lot of it back to about the original line of scrimmage as he hits Velling. Mark him at the 49. That is the original line of scrimmage, so 3rd and 10.
Jack Velling might be playing for your favorite NFL team one day. We've talked about Colston Loveland a number of times, but look at that big-time catch. He took a shot to the kidney there by number 6. Brandon Hillman, and now that gets him back to a 3rd and 10 situation. Again, this is where they've handed the ball off to Nate Carter. We'll see what Lindgren's thinking here.
Childs flushed, got rid of it. Catch by Carter, stays on his feet. He's down the sideline, near the red zone. Boy, with Nate Carter's world, we're just living in it.
Oh, wow. Man, he's having a game, and he just keeps adding to it. What a play. First off, what a great job by Childs to navigate the pocket and step up in the pocket, avoid those sacks. And then, no, he did not. His knee never touched Nate Carter. This guy is having a special game, and he continues to add to it. What a play by Childs and then Nate Carter.
Could have been a gain of 7, instead 30. Carter gets it, and into the red zone go the Spartans.
Could have been a gain of 7, except it could have been a loss of 7.
For sure.
I mean, there was pressure in Childs' lap. Now, here's the thing. If we look forward, let's say Michigan State, if they do score here, Jeff, I expect them to go for 2. All the pressure in the world is on the Wolverines right now. Michigan State's playing with house money.
And a false start.
False start. Offense. Number 65. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Freshman left tackle, Stanton Ramil.
You mentioned freshman, right? He's going to play in a number of these games throughout his career. This 110,000 army of Michigan fans has showed up big today. You got Velling down here on a linebacker. That's Jayshawn Barham matched up.
Childs over the middle, and he led Velling too much. He had a step.
He had him. That's the matchup that Michigan State wants. Belling's tough to cover for most safeties. That time he had Barham on him, who is a great athlete, but coverage isn't his expertise, and just a missed opportunity there by Childs.
8 touchdowns last year for Belling at Oregon State, and he's still looking for his first at Michigan State.
3rd and long, surprisingly, has been very good to Michigan State tonight.
Childs, nice sure-handed catch. Foster makes the play. 4th down and 5. We are at the 2-minute timeout.
This is the 2-minute
game on the line. Paul Bunyan Trophy on the line. 4th and 5 on the other side.
Dave Revson in our Chicago studios. They're going down to the wire in Ann Arbor. We'll get you out there for what should be a great conclusion of the game between the Spartans and the Wolverines momentarily. Want to remind you, as soon as the game is done, keep it here on the Big Ten Network, our Big Ten Live football postgame with all the reaction, leading you up to a great volleyball match, top 20 matchup between Penn State and USC, and then we wrap up the entire day afterward on the final drive. Jeff and Jake, take it away, guys.
Thanks so much, Dave. 4th and 5 for Michigan State from the Wolverines 16.
There's Nick Marsh, one-on-one coverage down below.
Bringing pressure, Childs gets out of it. Childs throws, incomplete. He was looking for Isaiah Johnson. Quentin Johnson got his hand on it. Turnover on downs.
And guess who is in the backfield once again? The biggest moments, it's been Josiah Stewart. Number 0. Starts with the bull rush. Derek Moore was also there, but how about the pursuit, the strain? And then Childs, he's got no choice. You got to give your guy a chance. It's 4th down. Good job by Quinn Johnston undercutting that. Now, this game's far from over, Jeff. Michigan State, 3 timeouts. And as I've said, I've lived through the trouble with the snap, so this game is not over until it's over.
Orgy's got it. Orgy right up the middle through a huge hole across the 30-yard line. 1st down, Wolverines. Orgy has been the best runner for Michigan all night long.
And the way Kirk Campbell has managed this game plan has been outstanding. I'm not a fan of shuffling and rotating 2 quarterbacks. It can disrupt their rhythm. That has not been the case at all today. It's been completely complementary. And when you have a mobile quarterback, it gives you an extra number to block. You get 10 blockers.
Michigan State did not call a timeout. That clock is running. They still have all 3 left. Orgy hands it off. Mullings. Now Michigan State uses their first of 3 timeouts. 1:14 to go. Back in 30 seconds. Second down and 7. 1:14 to go. Have a Wolverine player on the back of a medical cart. It's Brandon Hillman. So an additional bit of stoppage of play. Second down and 7. Handed off. Mullings again dropped. Timeout, just 4 seconds elapsed. We'll be gone for 30 more seconds. 3rd down and 5. Here's your game, Jake.
Mentally for Michigan, they got to be thinking, put this game in their own hands. As frustrating as this season's been, they're thinking they got to find a way to move these chains.
Orji gonna run it, and there's your ball game. The Paul Bunyan Trophy will stay in Ann Arbor.
Timeout. Michigan State. It's their 3rd and final charge. Will be 30 seconds in length.
Best offensive ground weapon all night long was Alex Orji.
That's exactly what we're saying there. This season has been tough. These guys have taken heat.
The clock will start on my signal.
It certainly hasn't been up to their standard by any means. And that 3rd down, they had a chance to end the game on their terms. And that's exactly what they did.
There was no timeout call by Michigan State. The clock should be at 1:02.
Clock confusion here at the end of the ball game. Michigan State did not use their timeout.
The clock should be at 1:04. Play clock should be at 40. They both will start on my signal.
Don't forget, coming up after the ball game, Big Ten Live football postgame, sponsored by State Farm. Breaks down all the action. Dave, Ashley, Marcel, they got scores, highlights, everything from around the conference. A loaded schedule over this weekend. And we tapped it off with a great football game tonight, Jake.
It delivered, man. This is, I'm biased, one of the more underrated rivalries in college football. The in-state rivalry, big brother versus little brother, some historic moments. This one doesn't have conference title implications. But man, did it have importance and significance for Sharon Moore and these Michigan Wolverines. And that's why that 3rd down conversion was so special for them.
Jake, as something breaks out between Michigan State and Michigan, well, that's not what you want to see right at the end of this thing. Great competitive ball game all night long, and
come on, man.
It gets ugly late. We've seen this each of the last few years.
It's a fight, but it's a fight between the whistles. It's a fight, but it's a fight between the whistles. It's not that. Thankfully, they got that separated.
There was a Spartan down at the bottom there that didn't need to be down there.
Let's get everyone to their locker rooms.
So here's the kneel down. Let's watch.
It's Colston Loveland right there. With number 8, Anthony Jones, and it's just not needed. It's just not needed. That's a great football game, great physical game. Glad they got that sorted out and nothing worse happened.
3 straight wins in this series for the Michigan Wolverines. The Paul Bunyan Trophy will stay in Ann Arbor, and fittingly, it's Max Bredesen taking it over to the student section to display the heart and soul of his team.
How about Davis Warren? I mean, the best quarterback performance, giving the context, best quarterback performance of the season for the Michigan Wolverines. And I'm sure Kirk Campbell is really happy because he called a phenomenal game, and his quarterback in Davis Warren executed. And anytime he dialed up Alex Orji's number, Orji showed up big.
We called this game a must-win when we came on the air, Jake. That win may have saved them from bowl eligibility. Win number 5. That's as big a win for Michigan as you could call on the season.
Well, you know why? Not just for that, right? They still play Oregon and Ohio State and Indiana, of course, Northwestern. Those aren't guaranteed losses. Don't tell that to these guys. I maintain that this team is much better than their record. They're much better than the way they've played a number of times this year. boy, do they look like a different team when the quarterback shows up. Great job by Davis Warren and Kirk Campbell. Great job in a team win for the Michigan Wolverines.
Let's go downstairs to Brooke Fletcher.
Coach, we know with a rivalry game like this, emotions are high. Can you just kind of walk me through the last few minutes here at the end of the game?
Yeah, that's disappointing. That's not what Michigan football is all about. That's not how we represent our program in this university. That's uncalled for. That'll be dealt with and handled, but that's just very disappointing that our football team is a part of that.
Well, let's talk about the game here. It's been 76 years since a first-year head coach at Michigan won in this game until now. Just kind of walk me through what this means to you, Coach.
It means a lot. This rivalry is huge in this state. We talk about 365 days a year. You think about this rivalry, so to watch these guys go out there and fight, started slow on offense, and I thought our defense responded a lot throughout the game, but I thought these guys, especially right here, they fought their tails off. Make sure you talk to them. Appreciate it.
All right. Davis, through the ups and downs of this season, just walk me through what tonight meant to you.
Just a lot to these guys. This group works so hard. We really do. We grind. We're trying to be great. We're trying to match the standard that Michigan football has, and we haven't been perfect this year, but I'm just proud of the way the guys fought tonight. Just everyone, the O-line, tight ends, the defense, grinding out there in the first half when we couldn't get things going. I'm just so proud of the guys.
You mentioned tight ends. How about this guy right here in Colston Loveland? What does he do for this offense?
He's everything. The guy, he's always getting open. He's blocking. He's had, when they try to double him, do whatever they can to stop him, but I always know I can trust him to make a play in the big moment. And what, two touchdowns? Yeah, 2 touchdowns. One from Donna, one from me, so I'll take that all day.
Colston, you told me that you had to really dig deep this season, step up as a leader. Yeah. What do you make of just the way this offense stepped up here tonight?
Yeah, huge. I'm pretty sure I told you, we need this one. In a slump, just good to see everyone come out here and fight. Sorry. That lost 2 games, it would be easy for a lot of people to, kind of tuck their tail and stay away from it. But, the boys fought. And, what a better way to end the night than this. So,
as I've told Coach, this is an emotional game. With what happened here at the end, I know you were kind of a part of it. Can you just take me through, from your vantage point, what you saw there?
Yeah, little bro stay doing little bro things, So MSU, the little bro, they could do whatever they want. We knew it was going to get chippy, but, everything within the confines of the game we do right. And then after they want to get busy, we'll get busy.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Very emotional day here in Ann Arbor. Michigan prevails over Michigan State 24-17. This one's a fun one. 110,000 strong. The Paul Bunyan Trophy stays in Ann Arbor. For Jake Butt, Brooke Fletcher, our entire crew, I'm Jeff Levering saying so long from Michigan Stadium. Big Ten Live Football postgame sponsored by State Farm is coming up after the break. Dave, Ashley, and Marcel are standing by on what has been an awesome day of football in the conference. Good night from Ann Arbor.